Hello again, and welcome back to the Slow Flowers podcast with Deborah Prinzing, episode 552, part 2. Welcome to part 2 of today's Slow Flowers podcast, a special bonus conversation with singer-songwriter Eva Leach. I'm honored that she's sharing her new original music with us. So let's jump right in and meet Eva. Okay, hi everybody. This is the bonus installation of this episode for the Slow Flowers Show, and I'm so excited to welcome Eva Leach to the Slow Flowers Show. Hi, Eva.
Hi.
It's so good to see you again.
It's good to see you too.
We spent a couple fun, weeks at past Flowerstock festivals hosted by our friend Holly Chapple. And we've just stayed in touch. So I'm excited to share your story with everyone. I'll just, by way of background, if you've ever attended a Flowerstock festival at Hope Farm produced by Holly Chapple, you've already been treated to amazing live performances by my guest, Eva Leach, and her talented brother, Nathan. That's how I first met them. And back in 2018, I asked you to be part of the Slow Flowers podcast for a holiday music special. We didn't sing holiday songs, I don't think, did we?
I don't think we did.
Yeah. It was a wonderful experience with some of your original music, a lot of your vocals, and a few popular covers. And I'll share the link to that episode in our show notes for today at slowflowerspodcast.com, which will be episode 552, I think. So dropping this Friday, April 1st, Eva's first ever solo EP, Sick Girl, is all about female empowerment, dealing with trauma, and coming out back on top. I love your voice and your talent.
Thank you.
Eva, your voice is so bluesy and soulful. You're a favorite of the Slow Flowers community and the Chapel designers community. So let's bring us up to speed. What's going on with this new project? And maybe we'll hear a couple of your songs.
Yeah. So the Sick Girl EP, just like as a little background, I just recently graduated from college a year early last spring. And it was a crazy time for me because it was COVID, so half of my college became online. And then right around the start of COVID, I actually I started having non-epileptic partial seizures. And so I would have 2 to 3 seizures a day, every single day, for 6 months. And this was during finishing school, COVID, all that. So on top of
being an artist, trying to perform and all of that.
Trying to have a career, which by the way, during that period of time, my brother and I did release our very first ever album. So it's all a blur, honestly, but I think in a couple of years, I'm going to look back and be like, oh my gosh, I did that.
Right. Right.
So, and on top of like having this unexpected, very serious health condition, it was like COVID was preventing me from getting in to see the doctors that I needed to see. And then it was like EEG testing and like poked, prodded, scanned, everything for months. And still to this day, I'm still being diagnosed. Nobody knows what's causing them. And I've managed it so far just by like weekly injections of B12 shots and eating, sleeping, and exercise. Like the basics.
Major self-care. You have to be your own doctor, basically.
Yeah, and that's true. That's a whole other tangent I could go on about the whole system. But this album or this EP has 3 songs, and it's about managing that really hard time in my life. I think I've definitely gotten out of a dark patch from it. While also managing, I was in a very serious relationship at the time. And the condition kind of like fed into the destruction of the relationship. And also I was going through a very serious sexual assault case with the police around the same time after the seizures started. So it was a really dark time.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the fact that you're talking about it and that you're writing music to kind of, I guess, basically put it into your own power and your own story and not let other people write your narrative for you. I just think that I have to celebrate that.
Thank you. And I used to, so unfortunately, this is not the first time I've been sexually assaulted, but this was definitely the worst case that I've ever been through, involving the police. And so something in me just switched when it happened. Like a week or two after, I went into shock, and then something in me switched, and I was like, no. I was like, no. I was like, I'm never letting anybody else make me feel small ever again. To that point, like,
Yeah.
and I just turned all of that into this music that I'm releasing, and then I just got back on top, and I've been on like, I just picked every single day. I wake up and I'm like, go.
Oh my gosh, that's so inspiring.
Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going.
Well, I think this first clip we're going to play is I can't remember which one it is. So can we just play it and then you can tell us?
Yes.
We're going to play "Silence" and "Sick Girl," which is your title track. I think that "Sick Girl" will be our closing number, and this is "Silence," and goes about 3 minutes, and you'll just love this amazing voice and this amazing songwriter.
When you're gone, to break the silence. I've been waiting on. Sorry for the violence, and I don't know what could I have done wrong for you to treat me like we never once belonged to each other. You turned my love into hate. How long will I have to try my best to keep my head up when I think of what we had disappeared? You could never sympathize. Every time I'd cry, I'd watch you crumble and back away, fear. Silence is haunting me. It's hard for me to believe. Silence is killing me. I could never make you see. I was only trying because I was confused. You told me that you loved me and used it as abuse, and I just kept on screaming, and you just refused to break down that stubborn wall, swallow pride, stand up tall. No, 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 no.
Wow. I'm just like, I want the lyrics printed out so I can listen to it a couple times and actually follow along, because that's such a narrative. Like, it's sort of got this arc of you realizing how a relationship wasn't right for you and how you were going to break away from it, right?
Yeah, it was, it actually, I wrote it all. So all of the album is self-produced, self-performed, which is part of like my kind of goal from it. And I wrote it all in one sitting because my now ex, but boyfriend at the time, who was helping me through all those seizures, after the really serious sexual assault case, just decided one day to ghost me after 2 years of dating.
Wow.
And him being like a key support system through the sexual assault and the
illness.
And everything. So I haven't heard from him since. And this song was about just the kind of frustration and like heartbreak I felt through the silence that I received. And it was like on top of feeling the really dark emotions from sexual assault, it's like this feeling of complete unworthiness.
Right.
And, so it was kind of like my way of coming back and seeing a different perspective of he is not the strong one, I am.
Right. Oh, you flipped the script.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he neither him nor my assaulter could dictate my self-worth.
Right.
So it was reframing.
Yeah.
I think.
Wow, that's so inspiring. We so need to hear this for you, especially a young woman, to like claim your story in your own words. I mean, I take a lot of strength in just a reminder that all women need to do this, especially because no one's going to do it for us. So you're teaching the elders here, Eva.
It's nerve-wracking because like when you stay, and at least for me personally, if I stayed silent and was too afraid to talk about it, they are ultimately winning.
Right.
Because I am still a victim. So in my own sense, it's like, I don't want to be a victim, but I want to comfort other women and give them a voice and like reassurance in the matter that they shouldn't doubt themselves.
Right. The other song we're going to hear, called Sick Girl, I think I understand that that's how you were also labeled with dealing with these seizures, right? Like you were, there was something wrong with you, but maybe there's more meaning to it than that.
Yeah. So Sick Girl, actually it's the first song on my EP. And
sorry, I should have played those in the other order.
No, you're fine. No, you're fine.
Well.
Sick Girl is the first song in the EP, and the first line is actually the last line of the last song. So the first line is like the reason why I made the music, and it's like, I refuse to let you perceive me as the needy girl who lies when she wants attention. And it doesn't say girl in the unclean version, but
yeah. So that's the first line in the first song and the last line in the last song. So it's got this like circular narrative that just, it's like the chapters meld together.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and wow. I like that.
It was because a lot of, like, I refuse to let these people who hurt me perceive me as a whiny girl, or like, because I was very mentally ill at the time and crying all the time, spiraling, having PTSD, flashbacks, everything.
Of course.
And for people who haven't been through that, it's like you become a burden, and it's really hard to go through. And so this was just like pure anger of like, I refuse to let you perceive me anything but like a whole strong individual, or what I went through.
Well, let's listen to it, and then we'll let people know how they can get this EP. And by the way, EP stand for extended play. Is that right? Or
so anything below, I want to say 10 songs is actually technically an EP. I want to say it's. But,
well, 3 is a nice, I don't know, complete number. So I like that. All right, let's listen to Sick Girl. Listen for those lyrics, because that struck me as soon as I played it. Like, wow, that is an anthem we all need to say.
I was just going to say, a lot of the lines are very blunt and to the point, because I feel like I've never heard women blatantly talk about the same ex got me pregnant 2 weeks after he broke up with me. And I had a miscarriage. I was going to keep the baby. But I never hear women talk about that. I never hear them blatantly talk about sexual assault, just the emotions about it. Everything's kind of put in a metaphor, but purpose behind this song was to be like, this is exactly what happened. And I want to make people who have been through it feel comforted, and then people who haven't really uncomfortable.
Right. So that we have some ability to believe women when they speak.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. I think I got it back to the beginning because we want to hear those lyrics.
I refuse to let you perceive me as the needy bitch who cries when she wants attention. The last day that you refused to see me, you ran to your mom and cried. You lost all my respect, and you are never allowed back in. And I will always be the first that you can never win back again. Do you really think you had it bad? Caring for a sick girl when it was mama would crash into the floor in seizures. You had no right to get that mad. I could barely keep my head up. Now that I'm better, I'm just fed up that you were yelling at a sick girl. I was so ill, they put me on pills. You made a big deal when you complained that you were tired. I was suicidal. I can't believe I was so naive to think that you'd be a wonderful father when you got me pregnant. And through the pain I chose to love you. I took the blame, but it was never true. Do you really think you had it bad? Caring for a sick girl when it was my regression to the floor in seizures. You had no right to get that mad. I could barely keep my head up. Now that I'm better, I'm just fed up that you were yelling at a sick girl.
Wow. Oh my gosh. So powerful. Congratulations. Your songwriting is as fabulous as your voice. Like you really just, they just are two of your instruments. And yeah. And it's not like you want to be the person writing hard songs, but this is your muse right now. It's just to tackle it and own it and tell people the truth.
Yeah, it would feel like a shame to not use what I've been through to some positive extent, I guess. And for me, it's like I don't want to carry it all by myself. And in this way, it's like helping other women, especially, and people who have been through very traumatic things. But
right. I mean, sexual assault does affect men as well. Not talked about either, but
even less so talked about, honestly.
Yeah. So when the EP comes out, people can purchase it on Spotify. Is that correct?
You can purchase it on Apple or iTunes, but it's also going to be like free streaming on Spotify, Pandora, like all streaming platforms, Apple Music, I think.
Yeah, but we want to support you, so we'll put the link on how to purchase it and download it. And then will you be able to do? I mean, you're back to doing live performances. COVID is kind of in Charleston. It seems like you're able to do that. Is that true? Or
it is? Yeah, it's honestly live performances have just ramped up, so it's actually very hard to get booked right now.
Because everybody's competing for the same places at the mic kind of thing?
Yeah, very high demand now.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're still playing live. I actually am throwing a house show for this EP release at my house. Just mostly for like friends and family and stuff like that. But it's going to be this Thursday night the night before I release it. So.
Oh, wonderful. Will you stream that?
I guess when this airs, it would have been last night. So.
Yeah, that's okay. You're available. People can find you. We'll make sure that they have your Instagram account, and you said you have a TikTok account, and that's where you do a lot of performances.
I'm trying to embrace it because that's the direction the music industry is going. So, my TikTok is at Eva_sings_Purdy.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
Yeah. I like it. We'll put that in the show notes too. It's so good to see you again. There's talk of having the Slow Flowers Summit in Charleston in 2024. If you're still there, we're going to have you be our opening guest. And I know that's 2 years out, but a girl can hope. It's got to be hard. And I hope you felt welcomed and valued by our audience, just listening and respecting what you're doing, because it's not easy work. It's not just music. It's so powerful.
It is. Oh, thank you so much. And I really appreciate you doing this interview too. It's nerve-wracking releasing it because it's like so personal. Yeah. And I've already had a lot of haters on TikTok, but on the flip side, there's these women who've been reaching out to me who are just ecstatic. So.
Wow. Well, if I could get on TikTok and find you, I will put a positive comment on.
Thank you.
I'll have to get Nisha, my social media manager, who's 30 and who speaks that language, have her help me. Well, take good care. Thank you so much. And best wishes to, just getting a bigger audience for this. And I know you'll have another project to share in the future, and I want to know about it.
I will let you know.
Okay. Thanks so much, Eva. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining me for this special conversation. Check out the show notes for episode 522, part 2 at slowflowerspodcast.com. There you can watch the replay video of my interview with Eva, find the link to our 2018 holiday music from episode 340, and find a link to order Eva's new EP, Sick Girl. I'll also share her Instagram and TikTok links where you can hear more of her music. I shared our sponsored thank yous in part 1 today, so we'll just wrap things up by saying the Slow Flowers podcast is a member-supported endeavor, and I value our loyal members and supporters. If you're new to our weekly show or a long-running podcast, check out all of our resources at slowflowersociety.com and consider making a donation to sustain Slow Flowers' ongoing advocacy, education, and outreach activities. You can find the donate button in the column to the right at slowflowerspodcast.com. I'm Deborah Prinzing, host and producer of The Slow Flowers Show and The Slow Flowers Podcast. The Slow Flowers Podcast is engineered and edited by Andrew Brenlin. The content and opinions expressed here are either mine alone or those of my guests alone, independent of any podcast sponsor or other person, company, or organization. Next week, you're invited to join me in putting more slow flowers on the table, one stem, one vase at a time. I'll see you then.